Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, July 8th. So as you know, we had the moon go void of course last evening and we locked into Scorpio energy 1:15 this morning. So the moon in Scorpio is never favorable by the majority of the people. Why? Because it's heavy, it's passionate, it's intense, it's overwhelming. We tend to do some shadow work. And what we know to be true about Scorpio energy is that it is highly transformative. So we have 8 different aspects here today, and 6 of them involve the moon. Before we get into the moon energy, though, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, information, communication, now in Cancer energy, semi-squaring the true node. So here's the thing, a semi-square is a tension point, and the true node is our soul's destiny. It's the path that we need to be on to reach that destiny, that meaning, that purpose. Yes, we are definitely fired up in both good and bad ways, but this Mercury energy semi-squaring with the true node is likely going to complicate things just a tad. We're a little bit emotional. We are a little bit not thinking as clearly as we would like. We are severely lacking the certainty that we wish we had right now in knowing what the next step is. And for the most part, we are a little bit torn between trusting our emotions to make the next step, trusting our logic to make the next step, or trusting our intuition to make the next step. And it would be beautiful if we could blend them all together and make an informed decision that way. But the semi-square suggests that we're torn. We're not on the same page. We don't have an inner agreement amongst ourselves. And therefore, it's going to complicate everything going on outside of us. To complicate things even more, we have the moon in Scorpio bumping into Neptune, retrograde in Pisces. So this is a water on water energy, which we know is highly emotional, super intuitive, very cleansing, very transformative. But we have a little bit of deep diving to do, which never feels good. Now, here's the thing. Our intuition, super on fire right now. However, there are other aspects that are saying, you know what? You can't trust your gut. You can't trust your intuition. We have to be logical. We have to be practical. We have to take a look at the circumstances and base our choices off of facts and not just something mystical. This particular aspect, though, is really pushing us to abandon logic, abandon practicality. We're passionate. We're determined. We have a vision. We have a dream. We have a gut reaction. And we want so freaking badly for it to happen pretty much yesterday that we don't really want to rely on the facts, on the data, because our current circumstances are not dictating that we are getting out of these circumstances anytime soon. The moon with this Neptune energy, though, especially Neptune being retrograde, we can't really float off into space in la la land. We have to actually deal with the here and now. Now, the powerful thing is that the Scorpio energy gives us one foot in the higher realms of intelligence and intuition and psychic insight, and a very firmly planted foot here in this realm as well. So our creativity is peaking right now. We can really come up with some creative solutions to our problems. And if we strike the balance right, we can actually use our vision, our dream, our intuitive insights to give us a hint, a lead on what it is that we need to bring to life in the here and now, what it is we need to manifest in the here and now in order to alter and change our physical circumstances, just so that we can see the direction that we actually have to take, that we actually want to follow. So the moon and Neptune can be very overwhelming, though. Again, water energy. We're splashing all around. There's water in our eyes. We don't know if it's just water or if it's tears at this point. We're excited, but we're also anxious. We're nervous, but we're also really looking forward to change. And then the moon goes ahead and sits across from Mars. Mars is a co-ruler to Scorpio, so anytime that we're kind of interacting, especially in a negative way, with the ruler of this energy, there's always some conflict. There's always some highlight of where it is that we're living in extremes, the dualistic and polarized energy of the two. Now, Mars is just fresh into Taurus energy, setting us up for a huge event that will be taking place at the end of July. If you haven't listened to July's energy forecast yet, you should probably do that. We have the moon sitting across from Mars, which technically speaking is going to put us in an opposition with ourselves. Emotionally, we want to take action. We have this impulse, we have this passion, we have this desire, we have inspiration, we have motivation, but we're also blocked. We're also stalled out by other aspects going on in the cosmos. And this is so frustrating and irritating. And it feels like we're being held back and restricted. And what does this do? This creates a lot of anger. This creates a lot of fire. And if we're not careful, we are going to project this emotionally, verbal vomit this all over the people that we love, because this Mars energy has a tendency to throw a little bit of a tantrum. And in Taurus energy, Taurus needs us to go low and slow, to think about, the practical steps that we're taking. Again, if you haven't listened to Mars in Taurus astro forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so. This isn't Mars's strongest point. Now, granted, once we get used to this energy, we're going to actually be productive and make things happen and bring things to life. But right now, we are definitely just at the opposite sides of what needs to be done, on where it is that we need to direct our energy, especially our emotional energy, which is very fired up and passionate right now. And because of that, we are hella frustrated, even with ourselves. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and bump into Venus. And let me just tell you, this isn't likely going to feel very good either. Venus over here in Gemini, trying to sort things out, make some choices, make some decisions, open up our minds, connect with people on an intellectual level, really pique our curiosity, really questioning our own worth, our own place, what it is that makes us happy and brings us joy. And the Scorpio energy, very passionate, very, very focused on intimate connections, right? There's this soul merging that the Scorpio energy wants us to do. And if we don't feel like we're on the same page, especially with our significant others and those that we love, then it's almost like we put a wall up and we alienate ourselves. And this could actually be a problem because Venus, of course, the goddess of love, she wants connection, she wants intimacy, but she's a little bit cold emotionally, I would say, because she's all up in the mental plane with this Gemini energy. And, the thing about this is that there's a lot of qualities and characteristics to just want that intimacy, want that connection so freaking badly. And if we're not feeling it, we can actually alienate ourselves, disconnect ourselves from people altogether, and kind of isolate, thinking that there's something wrong with us, thinking that we're overwhelmed and overly confused on how it is that we're ever going to feel on the same page with the like-minded people that we desire to be around. So just keep in mind that this likely isn't going to be a great day for social interactions. Not a great day to connect with people on a heart-to-heart level as well. We desire that. It's just not going to come out that way. Adding a little bit of fuel to the fire here, we have the sun squaring Chiron. This is not a good vibe. I will be honest. The sun, of course, in Cancer energy, illuminating, where new foundations need to be made in our emotions, especially where our home and our family dynamics are concerned. We've had some boundaries tested. We need to definitely create some new boundaries in order to protect ourselves. Chiron, the wounded healer, is showing us where it is that we've accumulated some ego, identity wounds, where it is that they're definitely being highlighted underneath the sun's illumination. This square is going to stir up, trigger, and activate insecurity on all level. Uncertainty about our lives, our directions, our love, our people. We are just not sure about anything. We are questioning our worth, questioning our purpose, questioning our mission. We have no clue who it is that we even are in this moment. And let me just say that this moment too shall pass, but it is going to feel hella intense. Again, the moon in Scorpio intensifies everything by like a million. We're feeling everything on the deepest level possible. And the sun squaring Chiron, the wounded healer, is never a good vibe. It is shining a bright light on all of our wounds in order for us to bring attention to how we can heal them. And it is just intense underneath all of the other aspects taking place in the cosmos. So again, this is going to peak around 9:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we go until 1:30 p.m. without any aspects taking place. So that's how long we're going to be sitting in the funk. But let me tell you, the funk helps because the moon goes ahead and trines Mercury. Mercury is in Cancer. So Scorpio and Cancer are water signs. A trine is a good energy. It's a blending of energy. It's a harmonizing of energy. It means that emotionally, again, moon, and mentally, again, Mercury, our heart and our head is getting on the same page. That's what happens when we are forced to look at our wounds, when we have to feel them, to recognize that we have to heal them. And this particular aspect is definitely suggesting that we've had some pretty powerful aha moments. Keep in mind, Scorpio energy ruled over by Pluto does a deep dive in the psyche, really kind of examines and analyzes things right to death, flips over some, I'm going to say, unearthed shadow emotions that we had kind of crept away in a closet there. We're in Cancer season that has a lot to do with our upbringing, with our home, with our family dynamic, with the relationship with the mother. And where the mother is concerned, we are recognizing where it is that we haven't been nurturing ourselves. And in that realization, we have to recognize where other people aren't nurturing us. And in that realization, we are now recognizing what it is that we need to do. Are we going to fix it? Are we going to attempt to fix it? Are we going to run away? Are we going to cut the cord? We don't know. There's so much uncertainty right now. We're questioning everything. Questioning everything is good. It leads you to gaining clarity. Confusion always leads to clarity. A breakdown always leads to a breakthrough. And the moon trining Mercury in this way is definitely putting us in a situation not only that our heart and our head is getting on the same page, but we're able to articulate and vocalize, express fully with confidence and clarity, a heart to heart that is needed in order to clear the air in some of the situations that definitely illuminated some not so nice thoughts and feelings earlier in the day. Now, the moon is going to bump into Jupiter in not the nicest way. And let me tell you, Jupiter is about growth and expansion. And the moon in Scorpio is about transformation on the deepest levels of the psyche and of the heart space, on the soul space as well. Now, Jupiter tends to magnify the situation as if the moon in Scorpio wasn't overwhelming, intense, and passionate enough. We are going to have Jupiter turn the volume all the way up on whatever it is that we're thinking, whatever it is that we're feeling. Let me just say this, though. Jupiter is at a point of overwhelming us. He is kind of showing us a little bit of an exaggerated perspective. So on top of the intensity, on top of the insecurity, on top of the uncertainty, on top of the mental, I'm going to say, chaos that we need to go through in order to gain clarity, we're a little bit setting ourselves up to be overwhelmed. Now, Jupiter wants to show us what we want more of. And again, that's not a bad thing. We have to recognize what it is we want more of in order to be motivated and inspired in order to go get it. But sometimes looking at what we want more of makes us look at what we currently don't have, which can put us in the scarcity mindset, which is never good. We start to spiral. Jupiter at this point wants to illuminate for us where it is that we need to start fresh, where it is we want new opportunities, where we want new beginnings, where we want to initiate a new chapter. He's in Aries energy, so we're all fired up in the right ways. But of course, with the moon in Scorpio being hella emotional and really just kind of looking to do a deep dive in the shadow work to see what is blocking us. And what we will find, which doesn't feel so good, is that we are blocking ourselves. We are blocking ourselves. We may look at our relationships and blame it on other people, but we are definitely blocking ourselves. The moon is going to bump into Neptune, wrapping up the day with a whole lot of emotion, a whole lot of confusion, a whole lot of overstimulation. But again, a breakdown sets us up for a breakthrough. Chaos sets us up for clarity. This is going to push us into intuitive overdrive, if you will, for us to gain a vision, gain a dream that is going to excite us, that reminds us why it is that we're fighting the good fight, what it is that we actually want for ourselves, and what it is we actually have to do to get the hell out of our own way to get it.